tutorial starts with a song, but it's only a few seconds long. Let's get started with animation. Hi there, did you notice that the animation I just showed you has sound? Yes, it did. The rolling ball? Yeah, it did have a sound which I kind of stretched so it fits into the whole rolling process. Whatever, I'll show you that animation again at the very end of this tutorial. Very simple scene really, and here even more simple. We have 1, 2, 3 shaders here in the scene, plus that model here which comes with Maya. If you don't know where it is, Windows, General Editors, Content Browser, and there you find several characters, rigged or unrigged or whatever. And I think she's called Jenna, and I have one light in the scene which is a sky dome light, and it creates this view here. I can go to render, and this is what it looks like. Now we need a mirror, as you might have imagined, and the mirror is, well, basically a plane. You can choose a polygon plane, this one, or a NURBS plane, whatever you like, whatever suits your interest, and I go for a NURBS plane. It sits in the center of the scene, and I want to rotate it, and I want to make it bigger. Bigger is here under Make NURBS Plane. It's called Make NURBS Plane 2 because this is the first one, our ground floor, which is just gray. When I change the width here, it becomes bigger, and when I increase or reduce the length ratio, I get this view here, and now I can just rotate it. So I bring it in an upright position, or I can go to the NURBS plane here and try to modify one of the rotate axis parameters here. This is the first one, and actually it is the optimal one, minus 90 degrees, and so it's just fine. Now we need to move it up. We could do this here as well, but it's easier to do it interactively, and this is going to be our mirror. So it sits here, and let's rotate it a little bit so it looks at the scene. When we render it now, of course, it is just a flat plane. Rendering takes a second or two because of the texture of that model here, of that character. Now actually we can keep the render view here in the viewport by just changing from render from viewport 2.0 to Arnold, and click on the run icon. So we get the rendering now in the viewport. Alright, now we need a new material for our mirror. And I just try to locate it here in the outliner. It's this NURBS plane, and I'll actually rename it to mirror. So the mirror, right mouse click, new material, and it gets an Arnold AI standard surface shader. This is important. You can choose other shaders as well, for example Maya shaders, but the AI standard surface shader is just the optimal way to go for. It is white rather than gray, as you can see here. But now we could increase the specularity from 0 to 1. It's already there. Reduce the base color weight or whatever. But presets, and here we have chrome. And chrome is a material which is basically 100% reflective. So we replace the current shader and now we see our mirror, which is very nice. When you don't have the outline of that mirror, that green viewport representation of the mirror, it gets a little bit problematic, because when I deselect it or just select the shader, then you see, well, it's quite irritating what is there. What does this belong to? Is this in front or at the back? And now it's totally unobvious what this mirror is about. That's why the mirror needs either a static background or a frame. A frame is a very interesting process for modeling, really. I just give you a hint how I would approach this. First of all, I want to get the background out of my way. That's why I go to show, and I don't want to see the lights. They are still in the scene, but now I cannot pick it. Now I go back to the viewport here and isopalm and select this one with the shift key, that one, the one down here and the one down here. And now I need to go to curves, and you find that if you're under the modeling menu set here, curves, and duplicate the surface curves. It's this command here, curves, duplicate surface curve, because currently the isopalms are part of that surface and we need to extract them from the surface, so we duplicate them. Now you could put them into a group, because there are obviously four curves. Control G and scale that, actually duplicate that group and scale it a little bit down. And you see the scaling starts here because it's in the center of the scene, but we need to go to modify and center the pivot, so the pivot jumps there. And now we scale the duplicate down. This is this group here, the first group and the second group. Now when we select both groups, we can try to get a loft here. And it gets all mixed up because it doesn't do the right combination. So the key Z, and you know how to go from there. Basically, you need to go into the groups again. Select this one, it's the upper one, and that one, and then create the loft. Then you choose and select the second one and the second one and do the same thing. And the third one and the third one, and yet again a loft, and with same thing with the fourth one, the curve number 4. Now in order to see the effect, I mean currently the lofts, the surfaces are sitting in that mirror right in this on the plane, and let's see what we can do here now. We invoke the Arnold viewport rendering again. And you see that frame actually does work quite nicely. Now we move it a little bit forward. If you convert this geometry here, give it a higher resolution, patches U and V, you can now of course select control vertices. Let me go to this view for that purpose and move them just out like this. Then you get a warped image, because the mirror is not flat anymore. There are several other ways to use shaders in order to create mirrors, but this is a straightforward way with basically 2 clicks. Once you know where to find it. It's an AI standard surface shader from Arnold, and you just use the Chrome preset. And now replay the animation from the beginning and watch out for the sound of the rolling ball. Bye bye.